Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Hundreds have gathered in Hobart to farewell Kane Simons, who was killed in the Hunter Valley bus crash tragedy last month. Beginning with a tribute at his local Surf Life Saving Club, the 21-year-old was remembered as a cheeky free spirit who'll be missed by many.
The farewell for Kane Simons began this morning at Carlton Beach, a spot he thrived in. Hundreds hitting the water for a tribute paddle out for a man who was a mate to many.
When I got up this morning, the sun was shining and I knew there was a wave on. It's Kane's conditions.
Clubmates say he was a dependable and talented teammate.
He never once shied away from an opportunity to represent our great club and our colours and our community.
This afternoon, mourners gathered again, offering support and comfort to each other, clad in colourful Hawaiian shirts on request from his family. Beginning with a tribute to all who died in the Hunter Valley bus crash, Kane was fondly remembered.
He was a quality young lad, a larrikin, cheeky, generous, definitely effervescent.
As a club, our players and officials will stand that extra bit taller knowing that we had the honour of playing alongside you.
At times holding back tears, Kane's father Steve spoke of a son who lived a no-fuss life.
Not seeking the limelight, just wanted to be good at achieving his goals and the standards he'd clearly set in his own mind.
Also remembering his passions for surfing, his combi, sport and how he captivated China on a family holiday.
Kane was made to feel like a superstar with his blonde hair and blue eyes. In the end, we would end up taking photos of him, getting photos taken.
Kane's sibling Jamie speaking of him fondly and his 18th birthday.
Mum asked him how many people were invited. Kane goes 120. Mum and I both laughed, thinking, oh my God, he doesn't even know 120 people. He never brings anyone home.
A former teacher recalled how Kane mixed with everyone.
He was full of life from the outset. A social butterfly who had no dramas, conversing with and mixing it with the older boys.
Fellow surf lifesavers spoke of his talent.
We threw him on the sprint track and, well, he smoked us all. We looked at each other and thought, oh shit, this guy must be Superman.
For all the laughs and stories, speakers united in their memories.
He always had my back. Kane knew what to say or would give me a simple nudge and I'd feel better.
Kane was a free spirit who was cheeky, who would light up the room when he entered.
Hard-working, cheeky, but never malicious.
Then Kane left for one last time, a guard of honour forming for his final journey. A last goodbye for our beloved son, brother, teammate and friend, gone but never forgotten.
He was Kano, the Insano.
But Bud, there'll always be a seat in our table in memory of you. Forever in our hearts you will live. Rest in peace, Bud. Ride those waves in the big blue sky.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
The Westpac rescue helicopter has been deployed to the west coast as the desperate search for missing Belgian tourist Celine Cremer continues. Challenging weather conditions have kept the helicopter from being used before today. Further ground searches were conducted, focusing on a track off Butlers Road near Waratah. Philosopher Falls walking track remains closed to the public. TAFE teachers say manageable workloads and a big pay boost are the key to solving recruitment and retention woes. The union gearing up for a pay battle with the government defending its vocational education reforms.
It's a crucial part of building our workforce, but staff say TAFE isn't giving them the tools for success.
Overwhelmingly, members told us that the lack of staff and teachers at TAFE was having a negative impact on students at TAFE, in particular their learning and their outcomes.
The Australian Education Union calling for a fair go, lodging their log of claims as they prepare for a bargaining battle.
We need to compete with other areas in Tasmania community. We need teachers from especially the trade areas, and they're really hard to recruit at the moment.
A more manageable workload and a 7% pay rise in the coming year, the targets.
We're employing more staff, improving and upgrading facilities to support skills development in Tasmania.
In a recent TAFE staff survey, only 1 in 8 respondents said they'd noticed a positive change since it became a government business. The union says that's proof reforms aren't working.
Whether it's in the construction and building sector, the automotive sector, are all telling us it's still not meeting their demands.
With respect to the recent union claim. We certainly hope for an outcome which is mutually agreeable, that's affordable and responsible.
TasTAFE's acting CEO said in a statement the organisation is committed to negotiating conditions for teachers that values and recognises their efforts. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
A 23-year-old man has been charged following an incident at Lutana last night. It's alleged the man discharged a firearm into the roof of a Lennox Avenue property at around 9:30 before fleeing the scene. No one was injured in the incident. Police located the man a short time after, charging him with alleged firearms offences. He appeared in the Hobart Magistrates Court this morning. Hobartians in support of the Voice also rallied today, saying they're hopeful it will pass and emphasising the importance to educate the public over the campaign.
This is the beginning of the journey. What happens outside this room today is really what matters.
There's still also a lot of people who haven't heard that a referendum is coming, and that's why we've got to get out and have conversations with our family and friends.
Yeah.
Today marks the beginning of NAIDOC Week with this year's theme, For Our Elders. Almost 140,000 Tasmanians are set to see their power bills decrease as much spruiked concessions come online. But Labor says the $250 bill buster still leaves too many Tasmanians out in the cold.
For many Tasmanians, overheated power prices are beginning to burn.
It's a worry. It is a worry.
The Stevensons are careful about their power consumption in a bid to keep costs down. They've welcomed the new $250 a year concession, hoping it'll free up more money to cover their winter wood bill.
We rely mainly on wood. We've got a wood fire, which is getting expensive.
With power prices climbing more than 9%, the average household bill is set to go up by around $200 a year. The government hoping the rebate and increases to other concessions will take the edge off.
We're going to do everything we can to support vulnerable Tasmanians.
But they're cold comfort for Labor.
It's not going to support working families. It's not going to support Tasmanians who've seen massive price hikes in their power bills.
It's still tough out there for sure, but we're fortunate nothing like the mainland where it was between 19% and 29% increase.
Although welcome, that extra cash might be burnt up by other rising prices. Along with skyrocketing living costs, the new financial year saw council rates across the state go up. The price pain isn't so bad on the northwest coast, with increases largely staying well below inflation. It's a mixed bag through the north and east though, with rises staying at or below 6.9%. But ratepayers in Huon Valley are being slugged with a 12% rise.
Price of food and everything's going up, so, you know, it's getting harder and harder.
Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
Greater integration of nurse practitioners is one answer to the state's regional healthcare problems, according to Labor. The party wants the clinically trained nurses in facilities and hospitals across Tasmania to help meet demand for care.
Nurse practitioners are authorised to prescribe medication. We can order ultrasounds and x-rays, we can order blood tests and refer to specialists. So we can practice quite autonomously.
The state government is investing $19 million into a state staffing model for rural hospitals, as well as funding additional staff and equipment. A raft made entirely from ocean debris has touched water for the first time. Sam McLennan has been collecting debris for 18 months and piecing it together, calling it Project Interrupt. Today it was lifted onto the water by helicopter, so work to complete it can continue.
Lots of fish farm pipe, commercial fishing materials, ropes from commercial fishermen, there's plastics in here.
Later in the year, Sam plans to sail to Sydney in the raft. NBL 1, Tasmania's teams did double duty across a massive weekend for basketball. While it was double the disappointment for the Chargers women, it was twice the thrill for the Tornadoes, going at 2 from 2 in tough contests.
With Keeley Froling away on Opal's duty, it was up to the rest of the Tawns to get it done. A tightly fought contest between Launceston and the Knox Raiders, home to another Froling sibling, going down to the wire with an epic shootout in the final moments.
2 for 2 goes Crawford. She was 5 of 7.
Today, the Tawns backed it up against Diamond Valley, sinking a trio of 3-pointers to steal the game 79-77 after the hosts dominated the final term.
Look for Open, and she knocks it down.
There was less to celebrate for the Chargers women, going down 2 games in a row to Casey and Sandringham.
His baseline, double comes immediately, so they swing that ball and they find Nakasoglu, who makes them pay.
The Northwest Thunder had similar luck, losing out to both the Knox Raiders and Diamond Valley. But it was double the delight for the Hobart men's side, holding on to the lead after a convincing first quarter against Casey on Saturday, and outclassing Sandringham in today's matchup despite a last quarter fight back from the hosts. The Chargers taking the win 102-89.
Tough look over the outstretched hand, but it doesn't matter.
Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
Karana, the Northern Hawks and Crips all scored wins this morning in the final round of the TNL season. The Cavaliers, meanwhile, defeated Kingston to secure a top 2 finish by just 0.7%. A dominant first half from the Cavs helped them secure a 56-43 victory. Hayley McDougall scored for the winners with 28 goals from 33 attempts. It means the Hawks and Cavs will clash in an all-Launceston major semi-final next weekend, with Crips to face Kingston in the elimination final. And in the Women's Super League, Clarence were too strong for Taroona today, defeating them 5-3. In other matches, South Hobart were too strong for Devonport, winning 3-0. While Kingborough overcame Launceston United 3-2. And in the NPL, Launceston City got back to winning ways against Clarence last night. 2 first-half goals helping City to a 3-1 victory, snapping a 3-game losing streak. The Tasmanian men have continued their unbeaten start at the Under-18 National Hockey Championships. A day after winning their opening clash, they fired 3 goals past Western Australia to sit second in their pool. Meanwhile, the women lost to Victoria today, 2-0. The championships continue this week.
Good evening. Some unusually warm July temperatures today. Hobart and Devonport both 16, 15 the top for Launceston and Burnie. St Helens Estates top at a nice 19 today. Friendly Beaches 18, Wynyard and Grove both 15, 14 the top for King Island, Low Head and Flinders Island. Strawn 13, Lyowini dropping down to 0 before reaching 12 degrees. An onshore flow pushing some cloud over the west today, with some light showers around the west and far south, while the rest of the state enjoyed plenty of sunshine, and we can even see some snow on Ben Lomond. A broad area of cloud covering the eastern and central parts of the country, some more patchy cloud around the south. A large high will move over the southeast tomorrow, with a trough over northern Queensland and a front crossing WA. Variable winds of 15 knots around the state tomorrow, increasing to west to southwesterly 20 around the south in the morning, swells reaching up to 3 metres about the south. Partly cloudy about the south tomorrow, Hobart 12, 11 at Dover, a morning frost for Ooze with an expected top of 12. A frosty start for Launceston before a partly cloudy 14, Devonport morning frost and fog 13 and some early fog at Scottsdale. Cloudy and 12 for Burnie tomorrow, Strawn 11, a partly cloudy 13 for Stanley. St Helens morning fog and 14, partly cloudy for Swansea, also 14. Morning frost for Ross, dropping down to -3 before a mostly sunny 13. Showers about the north on Tuesday, mostly fine elsewhere, apart from some possible showers along the west coast. More showers for the north on Wednesday, a slight chance elsewhere. Similar conditions will continue on Thursday with some possible thunderstorms about the far northwest. 21 in Brisbane tomorrow, Sydney and Melbourne partly cloudy, Adelaide 12, showers in Perth, 30 for Darwin. And right now in Hobart it's 9, Launceston 8, Devonport 10, all clear. And Lou, with the sun shining like it was across most of the state today, it's really hard to believe it's winter.
It is, Vic. It was a beautiful day. Thank you for that. That's all your news for now. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Kim and the team will be back with you again tomorrow. Have a lovely and safe evening. Good night.